Now on to the good stuff. Let's talk coding technologies. There are two general types of coding technologies, whether you're on the Salesforce platform or not. The first is backend code. Backend code is automation that happens on the database level, meaning this type of code typically manipulates Salesforce records and fields. There are three programming constructs in Salesforce that deal with backend code. All three generally fall under the Apex codename, and all three are commonly used together at the same time. Whenever someone mentions Apex, they're likely talking about the combination of the following things. First is Apex triggers, probably the most important piece of automation in Salesforce history. Apex triggers are your typical if this, do that type of code, kind of like workflow rules, but with unlimited powers. We'll go into more detail on this later in this module. Next, we have Apex classes, which are reusable pieces of business logic code. Basically, small blocks of modularized code that you might want to reuse throughout your various triggers. Finally, we have SOQL, which stands for Salesforce Object Query Language. SOQL is a simple language that basically gives you Google search for your Salesforce org. Most triggers will have SOQL inside them. If you've ever used the SQL language, it's the same thing but geared towards Salesforce objects. These three languages make up the Apex trifecta, and they're all best friends of each other forever. You might be thinking at this point, wait, David. You said you were going to teach me how to code in Salesforce, and now I have to learn three programming languages? Calm down and don't worry. All of these languages use the same syntax, and you're going to get to know each of them very well throughout this academy. Like I said, we're going to leave no stone unturned in this academy. The next type of code is front-end code. Front-end code works on the user interface level, also known as the UI. Thus, front-end code directly impacts what your users see and how they interact with your application. There are two types of front-end coding languages in Salesforce. The first is Visualforce. Visualforce lets you quickly build applications that follow the classic Salesforce UI styles. It's by far the most commonly used front-end programming language in Salesforce, but its days are numbered because there's a new sheriff in town called Lightning. Lightning is the newest front-end coding language in Salesforce, and it lets you build applications that follow the new Lightning style UI. It's much more modern, and according to the Salesforce marketing team, it's also much faster. Over the years, you're going to see more and more organizations using Lightning and less using Visualforce. But like any technology, it's going to be years before Visualforce disappears.